Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Michaela and today we are discussing my most anticipated reads of 2025. So for this video, I just want to discuss books that I am the most excited for to read and that have to be read this year because either I've been pushing them off too long, I've been wanting to read them too long, or you know, I just really want to read them. So I kind of looked around my shelves and these are the top 10 books that I want to read before the year's end. And now that I'm thinking about it, there are actually so many more popping in my head, but we're gonna ignore those, okay? We're gonna ignore those for now and we're gonna talk about the top 10 because that's easier. Okay, so first I want to start with something that has been on my TBR for over a year. As soon as I finished ACOTAR, I put the Throne of Glass series on my TBR and she has just been sitting, but with reason. Sarah J. Maas just absolutely loves to create absolute devastation in your life, and I just haven't found myself to be ready to go through that. But then like recently I was like, okay, let's do it. So I started The Assassin's Blade, which makes me feel that I actually can put this on this list and I will start it this year because I literally already started the novella. So with that being said, I started the novella, I have 30 pages left. I just tried to read the back of this book to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. And now I know how the novella is gonna end. Like, are you kidding me, Michaela? Why are you the way that you are? So I'm kind of just going to like I'm not reading any further on the back of this book, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of gonna debrief you in what happens in The Assassin's Blade because that's what a lot of people told me to start with. Mainly Oaf, she made a really good case because when it comes to this series, there are so many different reading orders and I was like stressed to the max. I was like, okay, but I needed to do like the perfect one. And reading the back of this, I am so glad that I started with The Assassin's Blade and I haven't even started this book yet. But it seems we're literally gonna pick up where we leave off because now I know where we're gonna leave off and I'm like, why did you do that? But nonetheless, we're going to follow an assassin in this book. Her name is Selena. Don't ask me to pronounce her last name. Oaf literally taught me and I forgot. But she is like the assassin. She is a complete badass. Like, guys, I love Feyre, okay? I do. But this girl, holy crap, like she does not hold back. She is so strong and resilient and I have just loved following her story and getting back into the Massiverse. Like it's been so fun and unpredictable. Like I find myself gasping at the end of every novella. It's literally insane. But in this book specifically, we are going to follow her into the Lion's Den, quite frankly. Okay, so things are going to get crazy. So I can't remember his specific title, but Arabin, he is like the king of the assassins, if that's how you want to word it. That might even be how they word it. I can't remember right this second. But he has this huge group of people that are assassins. You know, they take out the bad people, the people that, I mean, you're literally given a mission, you don't ask questions and you just do what you're supposed to do. So that's kind of what Selena is, and the characters that you meet within the novella has me so excited for the characters we will meet further in the series. So I can't wait to start it. I wish I could kind of give you more to go on, but if you've read ACOTAR, it's Sarah J. Maas, okay? So it's really unpredictable. You can't tell what's going to happen from page to page, and it's a great fantasy. It's very easy to follow. I haven't stumbled or found myself backtracking too much within this book. I've been hooked the whole time. If it wasn't for being in Phoenix last week, I would be done with this book already. I plan on finishing it as soon as I finish this video with you guys, but oh my God, what do I tell you without telling you what I just figured out? So yeah, I mean, it's literally a fantasy where you follow this teenager that is literally a badass assassin who stops for nothing. And she just gets so many plot twists thrown at her. Like the things that happened within the first book, I was not expecting. So I'm so excited to continue this series. I'm gonna leave it at that, okay? Because like I said, I kind of just spoiled something for myself. I'm not gonna do that to you, depending on where you pick up. A lot of people start with this one. I didn't, and I'm glad that I didn't. Okay, so the next book on my list is going to be The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. And ever since this book has come out, I have been wanting to read it. Why have I not done so yet? Great question. So this book follows this girl who dies an embarrassing death, and she gets sent to the afterlife. So when she gets into this waiting room, she sees like truly the man of her dreams. Okay, this man is perfect. She's like, okay, maybe I didn't have love in my like real life, but maybe in my afterlife I will be lucky enough to find it. Until somebody comes storming through the doors of the waiting room or whatever you want to call it and says there's been a huge mistake. So what they do is they send this dreamboat back to Earth, and now she is left up here thinking, well, there goes my luck, you know. But then she is offered a deal where she could go back to Earth and find this man and actually have her true love. The catch is, in a city packed full of people, she has 10 days to find this guy, fall in love with this guy and kind of like seal the deal, if you will. I feel like I just explained that whole book so fast, and like I don't want to move on so quickly, but I kind of explained it, you know? So I am so excited for this book. I feel like it's going to be so good, because something about like magic realism, I guess you could say, within these books is just so fun for me. This kind of reminded me of The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, but on a different aspect, you know what I mean? So I'm very excited to dive into this and the reviews that I've heard, okay? They sound really good, and so I feel like this will be a new favorite. So I had to put her on this list because I have to read her before the end of the year, preferably within the next month or so. That's my goal. Will I do it? Who knows? Okay, and the next book is going to be Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, and this is a surprise pregnancy, slow burn, friends to lovers romance. The things that I have heard about this book. Okay, I used to be, probably like a year ago, not really into surprise pregnancy tropes. It just was not my thing. It depended on how it was done, but the things that I've heard about this book, I literally just know that I'm going to love it. In this book, we follow Eve, and she is a very by the routine person. You know, she expects every day to be the same as the last and doesn't really enjoy surprises. And she's going to get the biggest one within this book. So Eve lives in Brooklyn, very close to her childhood best friend, and she lives a very simple life. You know, she has big dreams, but she's not really achieving them with the simple job that she has, but she's happy, okay? And when the surprise pregnancy comes up, it's very out of character for her, and then things between her and Willa just become tense, you know? And when they do, Willa's older brother, Shep, kind of steps up to the plate and is like taking care of Eve and like catering to her needs, you know, just being there. Well, you also have the baby's father, but he's supportive, but he's very off-put. This is not what he wanted with his life, or at least that's the way it seems reading the back of the book. I don't want to misspeak, but he just sounds like this is not what he wanted at all. You know, like he's not interested. Damn it, I shouldn't have got her pregnant, but this is where we're at and this is what we're dealing with. So with Shep kind of stepping up and helping Eve during this very hormonal, life-changing time, she's kind of starting to feel things for our boy, okay? And she doesn't know if it's because of the hormones or if because like maybe there can be something there with Shep. But like I said previously, Shep is the older brother of her best friend. We know how these things go. So Eve is trying to navigate this pregnancy of hers through the next 9 months, and she's just so conflicted between her relationship kind of falling out with Willa, her life changing so much that she couldn't have anticipated it, Shep stepping up and being like really hot and she doesn't know how to feel about that, and then the fact that Shep's not the baby daddy. So she's got to figure out like what is she going to do in this situation. Like that's a lot of pressure on one girl, okay? So she is trying to navigate this new life. You know, this is not what she was dealing with before. She was, like I said, wanted her life to be the same each and every day. Not that she even wanted it, she was used to it. That's how her life was. So things are going to change a whole lot in this book, and something about it just screams to me, I don't know, like sometimes, I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes the cover can just like give me the feels that I know I'm going to love it, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm super excited for this one, definitely based off the things I've seen on Bookstagram for it. It just seems like it's going to be so good, and I cannot wait for it. Plus, a well-done pregnancy trope can be so freaking good. Like, my first pregnancy surrounded book was Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. That book was everything. It was a 5-star read. I freaking loved it, and that's honestly what made me buy this book. So speaking of the queen, our next book is going to be Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, and this book just sounds like a tearjerker. It sounds like a 5-star, so let me tell you what it's about. I follow Chloe within this book, and she is a huge people pleaser, which I totally get that, okay? And when she finds out that her birth mother is going to be having another baby, she decides to step up and become the next of kin. The only problem is she did not pass the Child Protective Services test, or whatever you want to call it, okay? So they don't deem her, I don't know if you want to say the word responsible. They don't deem her liable or whatever to take this child. She's been told no. Okay, that's the situation we've gotten. So she can either watch her newborn sister be thrown directly into foster care, or she can participate in the CPS's new program where 2 prospective guardians join a household to see if they are qualified to raise children. And we have Warren, and he is trying to get custody of his 14-year-old brother who is deaf. So these two are stuck together in this house to kind of, they want the same goal, you know, they want guardianship of these children. And when she first meets Warren, she's like, okay, this does not seem like it's going to work. I mean, this guy is loud when he comes up. He just seems like not her type, okay? But then they join a household. And I mean, come on, we know where it's gonna go. The two kind of immediately do not click, but they have to realize they are doing this for the better of the children and to take care of their siblings. It's not about them. It's not about what they want to do. It's about taking care of these babies. So they decide, hey, I mean, what else can we do? We have to give this a try. As they continue to live together, they start seeing different sides of each other, specifically Chloe seeing Warren in a different light. I mean, you're literally raising a family basically together, and different colors come out, different traits come out in this situation, and she is shocked by how her emotions are kind of changing for Warren. So the issue with that is, do they want to risk the stability of these kids for a mutual attraction that might not go anywhere, but also might go far? Obviously, I think this book will be absolutely wonderful. This is another 5-star prediction, okay? I guess I should have just called this like 5-star predictions, but I really truly think that this will be one, just because the storyline and the plot of it sounds so beautiful, and I cannot wait to meet all of these characters. It just sounds so good. The things that both of these characters are doing, I love them already. I literally have not met them, but I'm obsessed with them because they're stepping up to the plate, okay? Nobody's forcing them. They're not held at gunpoint. They're doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. So I literally can't wait. I literally can't wait. I'm so excited. So if you have not read Hannah Bonham Young, I would strongly suggest it. Out on a Limb, like I said, was so beautiful. So I just know this will be life-changing and will probably be a new favorite. Okay, so the next book. It's literally, okay, Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, and it's a single dad romance. I don't know why those do things to me, okay, but they do. Our female main character in this book is going to be Skylar Stone, and she is a huge musician, and she is just looking to kind of escape her life, and a mountain town kind of seems like the perfect place. You know, it's deserted. She doesn't think she'll have any issues. She's just gonna live this quiet life. Well, trick's on you, girlfriend. Because she soon encounters Weston Belmont and his lovely children, and she just finds herself falling so quickly for all three of them. This is book 2 within the Rose Hill series, and guys, when I met Weston in book 1, I was like, literally give him to me, okay? Like, give me his book. That's all I want. So how have I not read this yet? I feel like I keep asking myself that question. What am I doing with my life? I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know. So I mean, Weston, he is a cowboy, okay? He's a shameless flirt. He is a fantastic father. I mean, there are just so many things that make him so desirable, and Skylar feels all of those things. So the only problem is with her career in the music industry, she just feels as though there are too many things to pull these two apart. But when she's with him, she feels like she's never been loved the way she is with him. She feels like she's never been as happy. So she does not want to leave this guy, but she just has those thoughts in the back of her mind that's like, this can never work. So Weston is trying to battle to show her like, this could work. You could be happy here. We could have a life together. So we kind of go through the story of a girl questioning every move she's making, but wanting this guy so desperately, but just not knowing if she can have him. I love Elsie Silver. I feel like she writes Western romances like nobody else, okay? She is just top tier. So if you're into cowboys, if you're not, okay? Because with the Chestnut Springs series, I was like, I don't know, like cowboys, but girl, let me tell you how wrong I was, okay? Because I'm literally obsessed with Chestnut Springs. I will be forever. And Wild Love by her, the first book within the series, was so freaking good. I loved it so much. Rosie and Ford, if I'm remembering correctly, okay? So I want this story so badly. So I'm gonna have to move this up my TBR as well, especially because the next book is coming out soon. The next book that I have been eyeing constantly and honestly have almost picked up quite a few times is going to be First Time Caller by BK Borison. And this is honestly gonna be my first BK Borison book, which is insane because I hear her name so much. In this book, we're gonna follow our guy, Aiden Valentine, and he is actually the host of a romance hotline radio station. And the problem is, he literally runs a romance hotline, but the dude has completely fallen out of love with love. So one day he gets this call from a young girl and she is asking dating advice for her mother. And this interview just goes absolutely insane and viral, and people cannot stop talking talking about it. So Lucy Stone thought that she was pretty happy in her life. You know, she's got a good job, she's got a great family, she's got a great kid, and the only thing that she's lacking is a love life. And that doesn't really seem to bother her too much until all of Baltimore is literally scrutinizing the fact that she does not have a love life. I mean, when everybody's kind of like spotlighting on you, you know, and questioning your whole entire love life, she begins to wonder, is she as happy as she thought she was? Was she kind of just delusional and just floating through the days thinking she was happy? Or is she truly happy? So she wants to kind of, I mean, find herself, I guess you could say, at least in the love aspect way. So girl starts going through it, okay? She is going through some realizations. She is going through a reevaluating time in her life. Imagine your entire love life being put on a billboard like that. Like, she has so many decisions to make, especially when you think you're happy and then you kind of realize, like, could there be more? Like, am I kind of settling, not giving myself as much as I could? So Lucy just starts to question a lot of things, and sparks begin flying between her and this guy through this set of headphones. The things that I have heard about this book, are you freaking kidding me? Ever since it came out, even before then when it was just ARC readers reading it, I literally heard reviews and raves of this book every single day. So this was without a doubt the easiest book of the month I have ever selected, because when I saw it was on there, I kid you not, I got so excited. And this is not one that will sit long. I literally almost started it last week. I ended up starting a thriller instead because I have not read a thriller in so long. But when I tell you that I'm so excited for this book, and you might not guess it, but guess what I think I'm gonna rate it? 5 stars, okay? Little secret. The next book is going to be Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Okay, so there are a few things that I am feeling when it comes to this book, okay? Because I've heard so many different things. Some people absolutely adored her. Some people were so let down by her. So I'm not really going in with a predicted rating or anything like that, but it is definitely something I want to read this year. I don't want to let her sit too long because, I mean, she's already been out a month at least, I believe, and I just have not even felt ready. Like, I know that might be silly to not feel ready to read a book, but I don't feel ready to read her yet, just because 1, people said you're gonna cry a lot. 2, people said you might be let down. 3, I'm terrified, okay? So I can't really dive into too much about what this book is about specifically because it is the 3rd book within the series. But this book comes after Fourth Wing, okay? If you've been here a while, you've heard me talk about Fourth Wing. I truly feel you can't not know what Fourth Wing is. It's such a sensation. It went huge whenever it first came out. And within reason. It was a great book about this girl who goes into this writer's quadrant, okay? She's trained all her life to go into the scribes, but she is thrown into the writers. She has to bond with the dragon, okay? She has to learn to be a fighter and quite literally a badass. So we follow Violet and things just get insane, okay? When I tell you Fourth Wing put me through the ringer, it was crazy. I also enjoyed Iron Flame, which is the 2nd book in the series. It was pretty good. But I don't know, just the way people are talking about it. Like, guys, can we stop talking about it? Okay, let's just chill for a little bit so I can reset and then go into this book, because I truly don't know when, except for sometime this year, that I'll pick this up, because I'm scared. I'm so scared because everybody keeps saying Rebecca's not holding back, okay? And she literally didn't even hold back in Fourth Wing. She broke my heart. So what do you mean? What do you mean? So we're gonna read this at some point this year. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't talk too much about it because, like I said, it's the 3rd book. There's so much that happened within the first 2 books. So yeah, I'm scared of her. Quite literally terrified. So the next book is going to be Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. And when I tell you guys this woman writes absolute devastating heartbreak, I'm not saying that lightly, okay? I read Say You Swear by her last year, I believe, and it just made me fall in love with her writing. No, I have not read any more of her books, okay? But this one, it caught my eye. The synopsis to it it screamed heartbreak. And sometimes I love to do that to myself. So this is a book that I definitely want to read this year. Let me tell you what it's about. In this book, we follow Peyton, and she is having it rough, okay? So she decides to just run away, literally. She runs away from her problems, her hometown, her mom, which said to be toxic, okay, and her senior year, and also her best friend, who is actually the father of her child. So she runs away, okay, well, he tracks her down, and they begin to think, okay, maybe we could be lucky and have this happy life together. Maybe it can't all be so bad. But then on his way home, he gets in a tragic accident and is unalived. let that settle in for a second, okay? So now all of a sudden, Peyton is more lost than she was before she left home, okay? She just lost the father of her child. She is a teenage single mother, okay? Things are just not going well for her. With all the tragic stuff that has happened to her within these recent times, she is just like freaking out, okay? She's a fish out of water. She doesn't know what to do. But when she returns to school at D1 University, she meets the quarterback, and something about Mason just sparks something in her, and something about Peyton sparks something with him. He has this huge dream of being a huge quarterback, but then all of a sudden his dream becomes tunnel visioned on Peyton and her child. So Peyton and her child become like something that this man cannot see himself living without. There's just something about her that screams, this is the rest of my life right here. But with the things that has happened to Peyton, she can't see herself bringing her guard down and putting herself in this situation to fall in love again. But Mason does not give up easily, okay? He has put in a lot of hard work throughout his entire course of life. This is not something he's not gonna give everything to. So in this book, we're gonna follow the tragic love life of Peyton, everything that she has to endure, and Mason, okay? Like, he is going to try to give it his all to get this woman. He is trying to convince her that yes, you lost your first love, but that doesn't have to be the last. So the question is, will she allow Mason to love her and her baby? I mean, you can't blame the girl if she doesn't, but the fact of the matter is I think she will, because I mean, there's a book, okay? So I feel like we'll get a very beautiful but tragic love story within this book, and I can't wait to be shattered, okay? Because the way she shattered me with Say You Swear, it was crazy, okay? So I don't know. I know I'm gonna cry. That's about all I can tell you, but it just sounds so good and so addicting. So I guess we'll see. Might have to do this in a reading vlog because I feel like the emotions will be heightened. Okay, in the next book, I have never read a Frederick Backman, but I added it to my list on Amazon because I have heard so much about this author for quite a while now, and something about him just intrigued me. And then I joined a book exchange and somebody gifted me Beartown. It is talked so highly about by the entire book community, so I just wanted to try it. So we're actually going to sit here together and find out what it's about. So a tiny community deep in the forest, Beartown hasn't been the best at anything in a long time. But down by the lake stands an old ice rink, and in that ice rink, Kevin, Matt, Benji, and the rest of the town's junior ice hockey team are about to compete in the national semifinals. Hockey. And they actually have a shot at winning. All the hopes and dreams of this place now rest on the shoulders of a handful of teenage boys. Under that heavy burden, the semifinal match becomes the catalyst for a violent act that will leave a young girl traumatized in a town in turmoil. That's intriguing, okay? This is a story about a town and a game, but even more about loyalty, commitment, and the responsibilities of friendship. The people we disappoint even though we love them, and the decisions we make every day that come to define us. In this story of a small forest town, Frederick Backman has found the entire world. So honestly, that's not what I was expecting at all, but it sounds really intriguing. So we have these hockey players that are giving their all to this semifinal. They've never had really anything like he mentioned, but they could have it all in this moment. But then something happens, and like, I'm trying to kind of play out in my head what it could be. Probably not gonna get there. We're gonna have to read the book to find out, but it has me really intrigued. And I've just heard that his writing is so unique and fantastic, so I cannot wait to devour my first book by him, and then possibly even more after that. The last book on this list is going to be another Kristen Hanna, because I read my first book by her in January and absolutely fell in love with this woman's writing. So it's going to be The Great Alone, and this was also another book that was gifted to me. I had it on my list because I finished The Nightingale, and I put every single one of her books on my list. Okay, so do I know what it's about? No. That's why I saved these two for the end, okay? So that we can just sit here and talk about them. Let's find out what this book is about together, but I mean, it's beautiful. I cannot wait to figure out what's going to happen in this book. Is she going to rip my heart out of my chest again? Probably, but I'm prepared. Alaska, 1974. The Albrights are a family in crisis. They are alone, living off the grid in a harsh and unforgiving wilderness. Ernst Albright has come home from the Vietnam War a changed and volatile man, and has made the impulsive decision to move his wife and daughter north to America's last true frontier. Cora Albright will do anything for the man she loves, even if it means following him into the unknown. 13-year-old Lenny, caught in the riptide of her parents' passionate, stormy relationship, has little choice but to go along, daring to hope this new land promises her family a better future. Even though they have found a small, independent community of strong men and even stronger women, winter is approaching, darkness is descending, and Ernst's fragile mental state is deteriorating. Soon, the perils outside pale in comparison to the threats from within. In their small cabin, covered in snow, blanketed in 18-hour hours of night, Lenny and her mother learn the terrible truth. They are on their own. In the wild, there is no one to save them but themselves. This sweeping, unforgettable portrait of human frailty and resilience spans the decades in a place of incomparable beauty and danger, where a family learns the truth about the wilderness that lives in both man and nature. This sounds like it's gonna break my heart. So that definitely sounds intriguing, okay? It sounds like it will definitely hurt me. Probably not as much as The Nightingale. Maybe I'm being delusional. I guess we will see. I cannot wait to read this book. I want to read every single one of her books. I also want to get The Woman. If I get The Woman, you can go ahead and add that to this list because I've heard that book is absolutely fantastic and I just cannot wait to experience more of her writing. She is so freaking talented. I can't even express it enough. And that's based off only reading one of her books, okay? So that is going to wrap up the 10 books that I want to read in 2025. I mean, we have some great selections here. Like, let's be so for real. Okay, hold on, because I can't pick them up. That's what we're looking at. You know, you have 2 fantasies within here, which both of them, okay, let me not say both of them. I'm really excited to continue this, okay? Honestly, until I just picked it up in my hand, I forgot that I kind of spoiled it for myself. It'll be fine. And then we really have some like lighthearted romances going on. Talking about these, okay? And then we have a devastating romance going on, yikes. And then, I don't know, just 2 things that are very new to me and that I'm very excited to experience. So I feel like 2025 will be a great reading year for us because January already was. I think we had, I wanna say we had 4 or 5 stars in January. It was either 4 or 5, one of the 2. But that's insane, okay? Because like I said, I'm stingy as crap with 5 stars. So the fact that I just dished them out like they were just free is crazy. So in the comments, please let me know, have you read any of these? Are they on your TBR as well? If you're in my Fable book club, do you want to read First Time Caller? Obviously, I will post a poll on my story because that's what I always do, but I think that she deserves to be in that poll. So thank you for sitting with me and listening to me ramble about the books I want to read this year. Obviously, you guys will know if I do or not because I post wrap-ups almost every single month, so hold me to it, okay? These are the books that I want to read this year. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. We're always talking about something bookish over here, doing something bookish, just doing all the book things, okay? So I love you guys so, so much. I hope you read amazing books and have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Bitches are body, my bitches are hottie, my bitches are guai. If you're new here, my name's Michaela, and in today's video, there you go. There you go. Good job. You need to be slower too, because it's like, hi friends, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm like being weird. Do you feel like I'm being weird? I feel like I'm being weird. I don't even know what that's about. I don't know what that's about, but we're gonna learn today together. I just really wanna read it, which doesn't make sense because I don't know what it's about. That's what happens at the end of this book. Oh my God, I low-key just spoiled the end of the Assassin's Blade. Ready or not, here I come. So the next book is going to be Ready or Not by Cara Bastone? Bastone? Why can't you say Bastone? Bastone. What's the word when you can't like not have somebody? Irresistible. That's the word I was trying to think about earlier. He's irresistible. God dang it.